Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pickleball and Politics, where I combine my quest to stay out of the kitchen with my passion for politics. I got no pickleball. Sorry, this is all Vivek Ramaswamy again. I know some of you out there will not be surprised because I've had several subscribers and listeners tell me you're going to be back to see Vivek. I know you're going to be back to see Vivek. I just saw him 2 weeks ago. He was only about 20 minutes from my house. It was a nice Saturday afternoon. How could I not go? It was also something different than he's had before, and it was a Second Amendment rally, they called it. It was at the Granite State Indoor Range in Hudson, New Hampshire, and I want to see if there was anything. Well, he had the flyers that were camo, I think because it was a Second Amendment rally. And they do say they're standing up for gun owners and protecting our Second Amendment. So we had a little camo flyer. And also, he had a Second Amendment town hall, it was called. And anybody who went yesterday, well, not anybody, the first 50 people were getting a free day pass. So how about that? I wasn't one of the first 50 people. For a change, I was not in the front, which is unusual for me. Usually, I am right down in front. I was standing room in the back, got a whole different perspective. Almost all the rallies I've gone to, whether it's DeSantis, Trump, I've been in the back because, Trump's a whole different phenomenon. But all of my Viveks, I've been down front. And DeSantis, I've been down front. And Chris Christie, I was down front. I'm really trying to get to Nikki Haley, to those big Nikki Haley fans out there. You can see I haven't gotten there yet because it's not a priority on my list. I'm going to tell you, she's my least favorite candidate. So anyways, it was at the Granite State Indoor Range in Hudson, New Hampshire. I will say one thing about Vivek. He's on time. I happen to like on time people. I tend to be on time also. He's right on the dot. At 3 o'clock he was there. He came in. He greeted everybody. He worked the line. I will say he's got a little bit of a different persona. When I saw him in Rye and in Manchester, he was in his suit. And I know there's a time and a place for a suit, but he's found out or figured out he's in New Hampshire. The last time I saw him, he was casual. This time, he sort of had like a burn coat on and very casual. He's doing the casual look right now, which is probably good because you're in New Hampshire and we're getting to winter. It sort of in a weird way reminded me of Scott Brown, to be honest with you. He kind of had a Scott Brown look to him. That's all I could think of. So it was in a big conference room. Well, it wasn't a big conference room. It was in a conference room for a gun club. I'm going to guess there were 200 to 300 people in the room. I'm going to guess there were people outside. There were people who were coming in and out to go shooting. There was a 47-minute wait for a range. Just those of you who are wondering. Real busy gun club. A lot of merchandise. Sell guns there also. The gun club I belong to is just a range. Well, ranges. They have different ranges. This was merchandise and all the things you need. It was pretty cool. There was also a Boy Scout there selling the popcorn going around. Now, if you're like me, you've bought the popcorn. And I know a lot of other people who have bought the popcorn. And it's very good popcorn. And it's going towards a good cause. But it is a little expensive as far as I'm concerned. I'm just going to leave that there for the Boy Scouts out there. But the Boy Scout was great selling the popcorn. And Mrs. Dr. Ramaswamy did buy a bag. So she took out her own credit card. I saw it myself. And she bought popcorn from the Boy Scouts. So should she be First Lady someday, I'm sure he's going to talk about the fact that she bought popcorn off of him when he was a Boy Scout. So he got right into his talking points, mostly the Second Amendment, of course. He did talk about how the fringe minority are trying to change America from the inside out, and that if you do disagree with the left at all, you're a xenophobe, you're a racist, you're all those things. We all know that, correct? He says, do you believe in free speech or do you believe in censorship? Are you for exceptionalism or are you an apologist? It's kind of that simple. He also says we need fresh legs right now, young legs, that we need fresh legs in a time of change, that there are a lot of changes going on right now, and he believes we need that. He did say we don't have a lot of time, and he says we need to speak the truth. A lot of these things he's talked about in other rallies I've been to of his. He says we need to tell the truth, and that I've heard him say this before, and he's saying it again, and it is true as far as I'm concerned. We need to talk to our neighbor like we talk in private. Because I know the stuff I say in private, I don't really say to my neighbors when I'm discussing certain things. Because it's been very contentious, and some people get offended easily. So people have stopped talking. But he says we need to speak the truth. Okay, he did say that the Second Amendment, and he said it before, is the greatest protector of freedom in history for the whole world. And I do believe that also, that the American gun owner is protecting the entire world, not just their own home and property and loved ones. We are guaranteeing the freedom of the rest of the world in so many ways. He said that no virus and no corporation will defeat us. I love that. So he took some questions, and I think one of the best questions asked was, what if you are not nominated? What is your plan B? And he said, I only plan success in my life, so I never have a plan B. That exuded a lot of confidence to me. His wife was with him, as I said, standing right beside him. A nice couple, a nice young couple. She listens to everything he's saying, and she did speak, and I'll get to that at the end, because she did have a few words to say, and they seem to be sort of easing her into speaking. She has a lot of confidence, but she is a physician, and I'm not sure if this is her alley, so to speak, and they're giving her little parts of the campaign, and I find her lovely. I will say that. She is a lovely young woman. He said he is doing this for his sons. The only reason. It wasn't until he had his 5-year-old that he even started thinking of this stuff, and now he just has to do it. He is doing this so his sons will be proud, but he feels time is running out. And that if he were elected in 8 years, that this would be a very different country. And he is doing that for his sons. He also talked about AI. Somebody got up and asked him, it was a software engineer, about AI. And he said that there must be hard boundaries when it comes to kids and AI. He also brought up his tennis I don't want to say career, but he did play tennis in college. And he said when he was growing up, he was a line judge. And you would argue with players all day, whether it was in, out, the ball. He said as soon as the laser came in and that the lines stopped being called by humans, the players stopped arguing. They automatically trusted the machine. And he said that is a whole different phenomenon that goes on in your head once you're like, no, it's yes, no. It's yes or no. And that the players stopped arguing. But he also said that we must have, and I'm going to read this because I do have this written down. There must be corporate liability for unintentional consequences to AI. So in other words, if a company develops something and it goes horribly, terribly wrong, they need to be responsible for that. And that is a whole new world. And that is a place where I think a new man and a new generation could make a difference. Now, I talked too long. I didn't talk too long, but we're on over 11 minutes. And I like to keep it short, not too long. So I'm going to do this in 2 parts. So I will see you in 3 seconds when you click on the next video. Vivek in Hudson at the Granite State Indoor Range in Hudson, New Hampshire. This is going to be part 1. Before I leave, you can get me on Getter or Instagram at Pickleball and Politics, on Twitter at Pickle and Paul. You can go to my website, pickleballandpolitics.com, or you can go to my YouTube channel, Pickleball and Politics, subscribe, give me a comment. I love your comments, and I'm going to see you for part 2. All right, see you soon.